So I thought I'd actually bring up, as we're sort of kind of doing this, um, now that I've sort of gone over how actual digging works. So we've gotten fragments now, and I've always sort of put stuff up on the sidebar here to sort of a quick access for the archaeology. As you can see, I've actually done like nothing aside from dwarf, fossil, night elf, and troll. I've gotten all the way to 525 doing it. As you're kind of going up, you as you're leveling up, it's for like the first 75 points up here, or whatever like that, you'll be, each time you do a dig, like when I got one of those urns up and I hit it, that'll give you 1 point. On top of that, if you actually solve an artifact, like the artifacts there, the completed ones, each one will give you 5 points. But that ends up becoming sort of the main point as you're leveling up. So one thing you can do when you're going up to 75 or whatever, is you can collect all the artifacts, but just keep hitting the nodes and collecting them and don't spend them, because you can actually get, this is sort of the bar of fossils. Fossils will be my example here because I've already gotten the fossilized raptor and the fossilized hatchling. These are the two rares that you can get from archaeology for fossils. Isn't he cute? Anyways. So fossils right now, there's nothing else actually usable that Blizzard's implemented in the game right now. So archaeology points will get sort of, each time you get a fragment, it's worth 1 point. So obviously I have 92 out of 35. As an example, what sort of happens though is that, Dwarven example, I have a rare here that I'm working on. I actually don't have this guy yet. I've been getting tons of dwarf stuff. Night elf you like almost never get. I was actually lucky to find it up there. I've probably completed like 5 night elf ones going from 0 to 525. And then of course troll, which is the important one. As you're completing artifacts though, fossils actually a little bit different. Like all the other sort of race ones, you can get these little slots here. I'm gonna call them just like runes, I guess. Dwarfs get runes. Night elves get highborn scrolls. Trolls get tablets. And you'll kind of notice them once you actually pick them up. I haven't picked any up. They become as like a green that you pick up. What you can do is you can slot them in there, and they'll always give you 12 extra points towards whatever you're building. So in case of this one, 36, you can add more points, and those points will carry over to your next artifact. Night elf here. Same thing again. I have enough to actually kind of finish a bunch of these. And the dwarf one as well. If I had a rune, I could finish this clockwork gnome right now. But I'm in no rush. It's just another pet, whatever. But anyways, so we got fossil here. I've been saving them up because Blizzard might add something in the future regarding them, and there's just no point right now in spending them. So I'm gonna go over to troll here, just because I want to find Zinrock, but this is sort of how soul-crushingly disappointed you'll get each time, like, oh yes, another tooth with gold filling. Like, how many times have I completed that? By the way, in the completed artifacts area, you can actually see the artifacts you've already collected, and you can look actually at the lore. It'll kind of also tell you the number of times completed. So I've got a few done, but they're all those just simple races I showed you. So I've completed the tooth with gold filling 6 times. You can sort of start to get sort of the understanding of how long it takes to finish a lot of this stuff. Anyways. Alright, so the troll place I'm going to actually is over here. It's interesting that Jintha Allure actually will have two different troll sites, depending, like there's the lower part and the upper part. They're two separate ones that can spawn. There's the altar of Zul, and there's also Shadra Illur. Those are all different troll sites that can spawn up here. I've actually had like 3 of them before. There's also a dwarf one over there. It's kind of silly. You're like stealing from the dwarves to your allies. You're like, oh hey, oh yeah, ancient heirloom. Here, let me just take it from you guys. It's not like you're using it. Call ourselves allies. So again, that was another green. And that was another yellow. Another green. Kind of undershot it there. You'll always find other people as well, sort of digging at the sites. 84. You know that he's not here to. He's not here for quest in 32s. He's doing the same dig site as you. So you can probably see down in the right-hand corner down here how it's sort of gray to me. When you're starting that 0 to 75, that's where it's leveling up. Again, 6 artifacts. 2 major. This red guy's putting in the back here. You can do archaeology on top of structures like this, but you'll almost like never find an archaeological dig up on this platform. They generally like to keep it more or less on the ground. Like there. Bruised wheat isn't worth anything. Not even gonna bother. It's another yellow guy, he's pointing right through it. So I'm going to assume that it's close to the wall here. Yep, there we go. Nope, no more have spawned up here. So one interesting thing actually I've just started to do now, instead of actually traveling across the entire world to do my archaeology, now that I've come to the north, you can set your hearth to like the bottom of the world or the top of the world. So mine's down in Darkshire. That'll take me, it's not quite to the bottom. Like, it'd be kind of mute if I maybe put it down in Booty Bay. You never find stuff this low. This is probably the lowest you'll find at that. There, and there. These are all troll sites as well. This will save you an immense amount of time. Alright, to the bottom of the world. Let's find us some more digs. One nice thing about this though is it can be actually quite relaxing if you just want to sort of haphazardly play or watch something else while you're doing this. You don't have to pay a lot of attention with how difficult a lot of people are saying Cataclysm is now with the dungeons. Sometimes it can be good just sort of to relax with some archaeology. Kind of unlike fishing, where you're always fishing at a site. In this way you can actually sort of half play each time as you sort of fly to areas. Also another interesting thing to note when you're sort of flying over some areas, the sundering here is actually sort of, I was always curious, I'm like, hey, that's like the Maelstrom. I wonder if you go to like Deep Home if you jump in there. Nope, you just die. Yep. So I've been blowing through these dig sites. You get a lot of experience doing it. When you start off, you're sort of inching one way or the other. You're like, oh, yellow. Wonder how far that means I should go. It's probably close to the edge here. You can always think of yourself as being like a big radius that you can kind of like, the spawn will kind of spawn anywhere near you. Like, if I ran down here and did it, that's all this wasted space I could have been using to finding the artifact. Doing it up here, you can kind of know that they're not going to be putting it in the water. They're not going to be putting it on the bridge. They're not going to be putting it on that stuff here, so... And they're not going to be putting it under the bush. So it kind of makes sense where you're going to get it. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching my little archaeology sort of run through there. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. Just to kind of show you what the sundering does to you here. I mentioned it passing over it. Oh my god! Yep, dead. Anyways, see you guys.